October 20th, 1967, me and Roger were riding up the creek in Bluff Creek, and we looked to past the root ball to our left, and up stood this creature. Now, you all know the story from here, but this is the confession. So, when I chased this creature up the bowling alley just after the sandbar there, she kind of put her two hands on this log and started to bend over and shake her rear end there profusely, and I saw those Bigfoot cheeks clap. And I looked back, and Roger, he was doing some relaxed dance, and he said, "Now everybody in the club's getting tipsy." I'm not sure what that meant. And, well, all I thought was, they really are real. They really do exist. So that's the confession, and Russell Accord can suck my...
Yeah, well, a lot of folks did call him Too Good. But that wasn't because he was sporting two pistols. That was because he had a dick that was so big, it was longer than the barrel on that Walker Colt that he carried.
I'm here to do one thing, is to bring one of these creatures back. I don't want to talk right now.
So don't get mad.
Just keep the camera off right now, okay? I said I don't want to talk. You got it? Joan, get me a Snapple.
Ogden's celebrated stomach bitters. Can I just ask, celebrated by who? Who's celebrating about stomach bitters?
God, look at the ingredients. Cocaine, alcohol, morphine, mercury with chalk. What the hell is mercury with chalk?
Science.
And red flannel. Red flannel? There's shirt in here?
Pieces of shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll just sit here and play sound effects all night. Why not? I mean, it's going to be one of those nights. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Squatchers Lounge podcast. We are here. I am here. You are there. That makes all of this wonderful. I am glad everyone has decided to come and hang out with us tonight. The first of the final two episodes of the Squatchers Lounge podcast. After a decade, I've decided that the Squatchers Lounge podcast needs to go into archive. I can no longer tolerate YouTube's abuse of their platform and allowing other people to monetize my videos, but not allow me to make money upon my own videos. So much so that, again, between last week's show and this week's show, I literally gotten another 25 copyright claims of something. Background music, crap, just utter shit that shouldn't be copyrighted. It wasn't copyrighted when I used it 8 years ago. It's certainly not copyrighted now, but somebody has an algorithm bot who just runs through and puts copyright claims on any videos that it so chooses to do so, and as long as those people don't fight it, which, by the way, there is no way to fight it, then, it just goes on, and they collect their money, and then, I'm just shit out of luck. So, to put an end to that, I have just decided that I'm going to leave the Squatchers Lounge podcast on YouTube. I'm not going to delete everything. I'm not going to download everything. I was going to do that. I was going to wipe my existence away from YouTube, but I'm not going to do that. And I'm just going to have to abandon it, so to speak. I'm going to have to abandon it to the YouTube bullshit and never produce anything new of that content on that platform ever again. I was really toying around with the idea of moving the Squatchers Lounge podcast over to Facebook. But again, I don't want Mark Zuckerberg to make a fucking penny more than he already makes on me. Their system is just as freaking icky and shitty as a YouTube system, and I don't want to buy into that either. So, a lot of you know, for the past 3 months, I've actually been streaming on Twitch. I've been doing a tarot reading type fortune teller parlor type of stream on Twitch, and it's actually been very well accepted. And I've learned a lot about their communities there, and I've decided that that's pretty much where I'm going to move all of the further cryptid content that I may decide to create. So I have, in this moment, created MOTU, Mysteries of the Unknown. Cryptids, aliens, paranormal, UFOs, you name it. We are going to get into it in the Mysteries of the Unknown show. It is going to be on Sunday afternoons. It is going to be a much longer stream, so you're actually going to get far more of the type of content that you like from me in a platform that I can absolutely stand. I have been far more creative on Twitch in the last 3 months than I've been for the last 3 years on YouTube, and I honestly think, as far as the viewers are concerned, you're going to get better content. I don't know why I am going red. Seems to be having a buffering problem at the moment, so if the stream is jittery, that would be why. Just had a slight interruption, but I think we're okay. So twitch.tv/X MOTUX is where you will find the new home of the cryptid content, brought to you by your old pal. I can't steal that. By the Reverend Captain. The Reverend Captain is moving to Twitch. I'm not giving up my moniker. That's who I am. However, it's going to give us a lot more content to actually delve into and allow me to be far more creative than just being stuck with Bigfoot. The Bigfoot topic has just gotten beat to death so much that it's difficult to stay interested in it. So I needed a way to open the content doors wide open, and this is pretty much how we're going to do it. You do not need a Twitch account to watch the show. You can absolutely go to that webpage. As a matter of fact, let me grab the URL and stick it in chat. That would make the easiest thing for us to do. You absolutely do not need to have an account to watch the Twitch feed. You can bookmark that, go there at 6 o'clock on Sunday afternoons or Sunday evenings Pacific time, and watch the show all you want to. The account setup is literally like a couple of clicks. It's not a big deal. Then you'll be able to chat as well and click the follow button like you did on YouTube, except you'll actually get a notification that I'm online when it comes to Twitch. So with that, you know, it saddens me that I'm abandoning the Squatchers Lounge podcast after 10 years, but I'm not really abandoning it. I feel more of though I am being reborn. The phoenix has gone down in flames, and Motu has come screaming out of the ashes. It's a platform that is creator friendly, creator oriented, creator supported. And they have a far, far higher revenue share. With YouTube, it is literally like a 0.002% share, where with Twitch, it's literally a 50 or 55% share. So you're literally splitting it right down the middle with Twitch. It took me 10 months to even get monetized on YouTube, let alone another 6 months to actually get a paycheck, to actually get a pay deposit. It took me 2 months. It took me 3 weeks to be affiliated on Twitch, and another like 4 weeks to actually get a payout. So within the second month, I was actually getting a payout from Twitch. And by far, as creators go it's not even a matter of getting donations. It's a matter of, people can subscribe to you for $5 a month, or if they have Amazon Prime, they can park their Amazon Prime sub with your account, and you get credit for it, and it doesn't cost them a penny. There are lots of ways to support your supporter just by making their numbers go up by larking in the chat room. There's a gazillion ways to make analytics better for your favorite streamer without it costing you a penny and still being able to go in and enjoy all the things about it. If you're on mobile, you can get a Twitch app. You can download it right through whatever your app store is, whether it's iPhone or PlayStation or Play Store on the Android platform. You can download the Twitch, get you a quick account, and then you're really ready to go. It really is an interesting platform, to say the least. Jevin, our Camping Tips for Stupid creator, he has been on Twitch now a few years streaming. So by all means, it's not that I want to abandon anybody who's watched the show here on YouTube, but it's pretty much just I have to move and I have to increase the amount of content that I'm doing. And I think the smartest move is to take it away from a platform that has disciplined me for being creative and move it to a platform that's going to reward me for doing so. So there's pretty much the long and the short of it. So be sure to go by twitch.tv/XMOTUX or follow the link in the chat and sign up, get an account, click follow, and you'll never miss another episode because it actually alerts you when your people are online. It's a miracle. There's more than just video gaming on Twitch. There is outdoor channels, there are hiking channels, there are all kind of travel and adventure channels. It has grown considerably since, YouTube has turned into a shit bucket. If there's any questions about why and where we're moving to by now would be the time to say something about it, because a decade filming for this. It's time to, hello from Mississippi. It is just time to move on. And I see Miss Bella is in the chat room for a change. Thank you, thank you so much for coming in, Bella. We have missed you, and we're so hoping that it's better for you. So that's what the new channel looks like. Motu, Mysteries of the Unknown. And it's just going to give us the opportunity to expand. I know a lot of people in the paranormal world. I know a lot of people in the UFO world. I know a lot of people in the Bigfoot world. And it's going to give us an opportunity to reach out to those people and say, hey, let's go talk about something. The June camp out is still happening, June 12th to the 16th, in west of Reading. We're pretty sure we know where we're going, but as long as nothing catches on fire, which I doubt very seriously, as wet as we are, that anything could catch on fire. But this is California. They're like, here, hold my beer. Oh, got a torrent world mountain full of torrent rain? No problem. Hold my beer. I can set something on fire. Fuck it. Oh, it is just, I should have been, I'm actually streaming through OBS tonight for the first time to YouTube. I should have been doing this all along since YouTube cut their studio out. I feel like a dumbass, but it is what it is, I guess. We live and learn. I really, really, really wanted to try and get back to being creative on YouTube, and I just can't do it. I could remonetize my channel because I qualify, but I just don't want to have the opportunity to allow them to control my emotions anymore. So pretty much after next Wednesday, I'm going to remove the notifications from my email, and it's just going to be archived. I really don't plan on using it for much else. I may end up using it and cutting clips and sticking, shorts up there of other things, but, the Squatchers Lounge podcast as it is, I think just deserves to be archived and, for what it is. It's still available for anybody that wants to go and listen to them, but, we're going to have all kind of new things on the new show as well. I have some movie scripts that are sitting in the background that I haven't really done much with at all, and a channel like this would give me the opportunity to not only share those but probably create some more. So Between the two channels, between Jeffrey the Seer and Motu, I'm basically spending a 40-hour week, a full-time job, in creating content and improving the shows. So it's not going to be the same old thing ever again. Next week is the sad walking away Incredible Hulk song show. If any of you guys out there will want to participate in that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a Google meeting, which will allow people to move in and out of that, and I will be able to capture that and bring that video on board. You don't have to have video. You can absolutely turn your camera off and just use your microphone. But if you want to be part of the goodbye show, you let me know, and I will for sure make sure that that happens at the beginning of the stream next week. I'll actually post in the link to it, and that will allow us to that will allow us to use it as a framework, so I can use it as a green room, which will work out just fine. Yay me! I love you too, Bella. Thank you so much, guys, for understanding that, I want to create, and I want to be more creative, and I want to, improve the show for you guys more than anything else, and it will give me the opportunity to actually make some revenue on it and open myself up to a new audience that is already prepared. Like, they're already there. They just don't know that they want to see this yet. But there's like pushing on 1 billion users of Twitch now. So I'll get on board with that for sure. It really isn't hard to use Twitch at all. I mean, if you click on the link, it'll open in a new page, and it'll take you like 2 minutes to actually set up an account. As a matter of fact, I may have even used my Google login to create my account, if I remember right. So your Google, well, thank you. The beard is definitely growing in quite a bit more. I've had to sculpt it this time. All right. So tonight, that's right. I did take those. I need to put those away, or I'm going to take too many muscle relaxers and by the end of the sun, ask me how I know. This particular Bigfoot campfire story is brought to you by my exit from YouTube, a poem by the Reverend Captain. YouTube can kiss my ass. YouTube is out of gas. YouTube can kiss my ass. Can kiss my ass. Can kiss my ass. I'm being Edgar Allan Poe. Seriously. No. The Bigfoot campfire story for tonight. Deer hunters discover Bigfoot family near Hole Mountain, California, from 2016. Bigfoot Campfire Series Season 2. Oh, don't worry, Bella. I'll make sure that you get a link. We'll get it all figured out. Pete and Max are avid hunters in the Mendocino National Forest. Each year they hunt deer, wild hogs, and occasional black bear, but on this hunt they discovered a home area unlike anything they had encountered before. It was a Saturday morning, the third week in October. Deer season had just opened for about 20 days, and so far we hadn't shot a thing or even been close enough to take a shot. But we were leaving extra early in the hopes that we would get it done and be back before dark. Hole Mountain was about half of the way into the park, and we should reach the bottom just before dawn, which has been successful for us in the past. So Max put the pedal down, and 90 minutes later we were there. We parked on the side of the forest road and set off just as the sun tipped its hat for us to the day. We walked a game trail for about 90 minutes when we came to a little clearing that led to a meadow with a small lake on the other side. We had a set of two-way radios with us, so we decided to put about 90 yards between us and take different angles on the small lake. We're not one to take just a deer, but it needs to be the right deer. It's always about 8:30 now, and lots of the animal activity picked up around the lake. There's the same resident ducks and a bunch of rodents running all over the meadow. A small doe wandered in by herself, and we both had a shot, but neither of us took it. It wasn't the right shot of the day. The morning began to slip away from us as it was pushing towards 11 a.m., and I saw a really nice 8-point buck traveling within a few does within view. I radioed over to Max that I was going to take this buck, and his reply was he didn't have a shot to go ahead. I steadied myself against the log I had been posted up on all day, lined up a perfect organ shot, and squeezed the trigger. Perfect shot. The buck jumped straight up and then collapsed, just off of sight, off the edge of the lake. Max, hearing the shot, called on the radio to see if we had to go track it, and sure enough, he was meeting me halfway to the lake with some processing gear in hand. We hunt for the meat, so we process the meat right there in the woods and leave the rest for the scavengers, helping to feed the local wildlife. The closer we got to the lakeside, the more of these strange sounds we kept hearing, like grumbly whooping sounds and a loud thud against a tree every so often. Max and I approached the shot site and found where the buck had laid down after jumping, but it was no longer there. A few tufts of hair, some blood, and then drips of blood leading off. Max thought maybe it got up and wandered around hurt, so now we had to find it. We started walking in an X pattern back and forth, trying to locate the body and just moving in the general direction of the blood drops. But both of us, realizing we're headed closer to the weird noises, decided it's best to figure out what that sound was first, so we came back to find the buck. Again and again, a weird whoop and a thud of a branch on a tree, mumbled squawking. No words, but nearly sounding happy. Finally, as we rounded a large downed tree, we could see in front of us what surely only very few people get to see in a lifetime. 3 very large, very heavy, hairy beings hanging together near a small waterfall, and they were eating the organs out of our buck. Sure enough, laying at the feet of the creatures was the deer I had shot, right near the lakeside. As Max and I were closing in on the shot, one of the creatures must have found it and brought it back here to share with the others. The first one was obviously male, and he seemed to be doling out the meat as he would reach down into the buck and rip a large piece of meat, covered still in warm blood, and lay it on the log, as one of the others would run over and take it. He seemed very strongly built, powerful at the chest, with oddly long and thicker hair than others, in pure black. The other very large one seemed maybe a foot smaller than the tallest, but by no means small. These were hulking creatures, and I was very afraid inside. Not sure if it was a female, as no visible breasts were evident, but no male appendages either. It got most of the lion's share of the meat put out by the male. The middle one seemed to be lighter brown in color, but still very dark, its face matted in blood of the deer meat, and all of them smacked their chops, savoring the taste of it all. The smallest of the 3 must have been a child of some sort. Its hair was far less dense, and its head was more rounded than pointed like the others. It, too, was still very large, though. I would guess over 6 feet on its own when it stood up tall by the hind legs. You could tell that these were no bears. These looked like giant monkeys from the zoo with much longer legs and no balance issues. They were most definitely Sasquatch of some type. Of course, all of my life I've heard stories, but never enough to convince me of this until here and now they are right before our eyes. All Max could do was squeeze the living crap out of my arm in amazement to what we both saw. Being downwind of the creatures, you got a hint of something foul on the wind enough to make it uncomfortable, and we quickly didn't want to be discovered, and we backed away after just a few minutes of watching these incredible animals. Max and I retreated back quickly and quietly. As we got maybe 30 yards from where we had been, we heard a very large howl and a whoop. And then we could hear the creatures making their way through the woods the other way. As both of us had seen exactly as the other, there was no doubt that they were exactly we should tell others about what we saw. As we walked the 90 minutes back to the truck, we didn't say much to each other, besides Max trying to come up with another explanation, while beginning a sentence saying, well, maybe it was, and then a quick, nah, Bigfoot. We saw Bigfoot. When we got back to the house, my wife asked us both, well, did you get one today, fellas? To which Max just said, we shot and lost one, it happens. Max finished his beer and walked out to drive home. It was 2 weeks, and I still hadn't heard from him. I guess it'll take some time before he's ready to hunt again. I don't know that I could imagine that. Shooting your deer like you've done 100 times before, tracked it like you've done 100 times before, only to figure it was gone. Like, I mean, I've seen deer run for a mile before they finally keel over on a bad shot. But I've never seen one hit in the pack like that would, really go much more than 10 or 15 yards. So the only idea that you would have would be like the big one just flopping that big thing up over its shoulder and then walking back down to where the others were. Absolutely insane. Let us give a moment here to say hello to the people in my neighborhood. Hello to the peoples in my neighborhood. Starshine, hello, hello. And Ken the Viking, hello, Ken. Hey, we're going to be up in your neck of the woods in June. That same camp that we were at the last time you came down and saw us. So keep that in mind, buddy. Ken has an alter ego. Shane Barber, hello, Mr. Shane. Out there swinging that blue wrench like it's important. I appreciate that. Mr. Collier Williams, that's right, Diablo de Mesa. Ken, hello, Ken, much hello, much glad for you to be here. Rod Dupree, he's always in the place to be. Mr. Donald Fuller, hello, Donald Fuller, glad you're here as well. There's Bella Allegria, so glad that you felt well enough that you were able to join us tonight. James Thornton, howdy from Mississippi. Mississippi. Still how I know how to spell Mississippi. But I can spell Pennsylvania too, so I guess I'm not horrible. Who am I missing? I hope I'm not missing too many. Obsidian Radio. Hello, hello. Hello, there's this Scarlet Sage. Pulling that magic trick like Wonder Woman. Like, where'd Miss Kitten go? I don't know. All there is Scarlet Sage here now. No, Dana. Only Zool. And there's the Duncans. That's right. Aaron and Mary. They're family. They're always here. You're Hobo Man 5. Hello. Well, you are back, but remember, we are moving. As of next week is the farewell to YouTube. Yeah, come party with us next week. I'm going to do all the shit that usually gets people banned and see what happens. No, that's not true. But I thought about it. Kevin K. 208. Hello. Glad you are with us as well. If I have not said hello to you, that's because I don't know you are here. You should probably say hello to me. Yeah, it's not a zoo. Oh my goodness. The amount of anxiety that is actually lifted from me just making the decision to no longer do business with Yahoo, or with Yahoo. Might as well be Yahoo, with friggin' YouTube, has actually made a difference for me. So while it is sad when some things end, we have to end some things to begin again. So now we have to figure out all those things from the beginning again. I just know that if you have a Twitch account, I can absolutely invite you to come and join us on the show pretty much anytime we want to. Even if it's just to say hi or to ask a question or any of that type of thing. Scarlet Sage is my Discord admin for the Jeffrey the Seer channel, and we are going to add in, we're going to do some rearranging and add in the Motu channels in the Discord server as well. So there'll be a couple of ways to do it. Discord, you can download that on your phone as well. It's just another little app, and it works very easily. And there will be links in the feeds that show you how to find our Discord server and join it. So lots of new things coming forward. I really want to make this more of an interactive program rather than just people who are there on the chat. As well as the people that are in the chat room, we're going to install a queue system, which will allow you to join it to be able to ask the hosts or the hosting guests questions. So basically, you'll get put into a queue as you enter. That will be the number down that you come, and I can pull people out one at a time and actually give our attention to whoever it is that's next up in the queue. So we'll definitely there will definitely be an evolution of things coming up with the new stream. 4 hours is a long time to try and fill for Bigfoot content, but not for Mysteries of the Unknown content. It's not going to be difficult at all. We'll probably break it into some segments, and we'll do like a call-in segment, probably like once every 90 minutes. Like we'll do some kind of a topic for 90 minutes, and then we'll do some call in, but it's not exactly call in, but you get my point. We can do some audio ins and make it like our very own little coast to coast AM. That's kind of what I envision this to be, is a streaming version of Coast to Coast AM, only controlled by us in the way that we want to do it. So if you are a Twitch streamer already, let me know, because I am going to be building basically a link circle. I don't know if people remember what those were. A coalition of streamers to where everybody kind of helps lift everybody else up. So if you've ever thought about doing a stream of your own and starting a stream of your own, by all means, let me know. I will be more than happy to help you set it up. I helped my friends from Live Today Wonderland set up a Twitch feed for them this week. So for sure, let me know, because that's pretty much where our new home is going to be. I think it's going to be great too. I think we're really going to be able to talk about a lot of things. It's going to allow us to get into physics and string theory and the pyramids. How were the pyramids built? All the theories that go along with those types of things. Sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit because I'm excited. It will literally allow us to go places that we've never been able to go before on this particular program, which has kind of pigeonholed this for a decade. And I just think it's time for us to finally resolve it, wind it back up, and bring it full circle with something that's going to grow and be fun and enjoyable and not make me cringe every time I have to do the show. I do the show for you guys at this point because I can't stand being here on YouTube. That is the truth of it, and I don't want it to stand that way anymore. So next week, the 29th, I will be having some guests in and out as we say goodbye to YouTube. And then on Sunday, the 2nd of April, I didn't want to do it on April Fool's Day so people thought it was a joke. No, on April 2nd, we will be unveiling the first edition of Mysteries of the Unknown on Twitch. So for that, it's pretty much where we're going to wrap it up, unless there are any further questions that I might need to answer upon the Twitch feed. Ken has found me on Twitch, as has Lance. Lance Windsor has found me on Twitch as well, and Starshine and Collier, and Miss Kitten came. She met me there and has come here to support me, which is awesome. That's the kind of people that you're going to meet and interact with in Twitch. And it really is there's creators from 15 to 108. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you've got an interest. There's a guy who streams. He goes out and metal detects the beaches in Florida and doesn't talk, doesn't do shit. Has his little GoPro on and it just films what he's doing. And the dude has like 40,000 viewers or 40,000 followers, and I'm sure makes a gob ass of money. So we will be back right here next week. That's right. The campfire bit. Well, guess what? There's going to be all kind of new short stories to come out in Mysteries of the Unknown. There's going to be all kind of neatness that we've just kind of been not able to share. So for everyone, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Happy equinox. Happy spring. Oh, speaking of happy spring, I can't do this. Mr. Dean had a spring equinox Easter. So let's take a listen to our pal, the quasi-theorist, before we go out.
And now, quasi-theories from a quasi-scientist with your host, Dean Cooper.
X marks the spot. Ah, Easter. Easter surely scoots about calendar-wise. The reason's obvious. It is always on the first Sunday after the first full moon after the first day of spring. Not expecting that, were you? The key to it is the name Easter itself. The name came into English from an old Germanic goddess named Ustre, the goddess of the dawn. Her holiday was celebrated at the spring equinox, when the path of the sun, or the ecliptic, crosses the celestial equator, and the length of day and night are equal. She was also the goddess of fertility, therefore eggs, bunnies, and lambs were associated with her. She is cognate with the other Mediterranean fertility and love goddesses like Astarte, Ishtar, and Aphrodite, who were all considered aspects of the one mother goddess. There's some scholarly arguments about all this, but I am the quasi-scientist around here, and this is my quasi-theory. Now, how do we get from the equinox to the correct Sunday for Easter, and what does it have to do with the full moon and what all? Many forms of the mother goddess had sons, and the father was usually a sun god, and the son was equated with the father. Many of these sons of gods died and resurrected for the sake of their followers, and they did it on or near the spring equinox. The path of the solar ecliptic and the celestial equator make an X where they cross, both in the spring and fall. These various sons of God, many of whom were crucified, died in the spring, at that point when the sun is at the center of the big X mark in the sky, the big cross in the sky. Having your son of God resurrect on a Sunday is highly appropriate. Most of these goddess mothers of a son of a god were moon goddesses, so you had to get the moon involved, and the full moon has been associated with regrowth and fertility in many cultures. On the other hand, officially, Easter Sunday is the first Sunday after the first full moon, after the first day of spring, because the bishops at the Council of Nicaea voted to make it so in 325 AD. On the third hand, that council was ruled over by the Emperor Constantine, who had a hard time distinguishing Jesus from Solus Invictus, the form of the Persian god Mithras that previously worshipped. Go figure. This is the Dean Cooper, quasi-scientist, enlightening you with my quasi-theory of the week. You may read the text of this on my blog at bydean.com. That's BHAIDIN.com.